Well, what if I told you one of those boring old brown coins could be worth $1.5 million? Stick around because today we're diving into the 1960 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny and why this little guy might just fund your dream vacation or your retirement or both. And trust me, you don't need a treasure map or a metal detector, just a jar of loose change and maybe a magnifying glass. Let's go coin hunting. Okay, before we start drooling over the million-dollar price tag, let's rewind just a smidge. The Lincoln cent, yep, the one with Honest Abe on it, has been around since 1909, replacing the Indian head cent and the D-Mint mark. That means it was made in good ol' Denver. Now here's the juicy part. So in 1960, the U.S. Mint pulled a bit of a switcheroo. They started the year minting what's called a small date design, but then halfway through the year, they decided, nah, let's make the date bigger. Because why not? Hashtag government logic. So now we have two varieties. But wait, here's where it gets spicy hot pepper. A few 1960 D small date cents were struck using proof dies by mistake, and boom, collision, a rare hybrid error coin was born. And one of these rare errors, in pristine condition, mind you, sold for $1.5 million at auction. Exploding head. Okay, now you're probably ready to dump out your piggy bank, right? First, check for the D mint mark under the date. Look at the 9 in 1960. If the loop is small and tight, you've got the small date. Compare the 0. In small dates, it's more oval, while in large dates, it's more round. Use a coin microscope if you've got one, or your phone camera zoom works in a pinch. Check both the obverse, front, and reverse, back, for sharp, crisp details. Rare errors often have proof-like qualities. And condition is everything. A beat-up version might get you a cheeseburger, but a mint condition one? That's your million-dollar baby. A few years back, I was doing laundry and found an old jar of coins buried behind the dryer. Jackpot, right? I spent 2 hours sorting through sticky nickels, Canadian pennies. Why are there always Canadian pennies? And that one weird token from Chuck E. Cheese. Then, I spotted it. A 1960 D penny. My heart stopped. I ran for my magnifying glass like Indiana Jones running for the idol. Was it the small date? I squinted. I Googled. I even called my cousin Jeff, who collects Beanie Babies like he's on Wall Street. But you know what? That moment sparked my love for coin hunting. And now here we are, talking about million-dollar pennies together. So even if you don't find a treasure today, you're starting a journey that could seriously pay off. Now you're probably wondering, why on earth is a penny worth more than a Lamborghini? Only a few of these small-date proof-like error coins exist. That $1.5 million sale was for a MS-67 grade, nearly flawless. Serious collectors will drop big bucks for coins that complete their sets or make headlines that it's like Pokemon cards. But for grown-ups who get excited about copper and zinc. Nerdface, so here's the takeaway. Before you toss your pennies in the tip jar, check those dates. That little 1960 D. Lincoln cent could be your golden ticket, or at least your reason to finally buy that new gaming PC or take a trip to Hawaii. Palm tree. And hey, if you think you might have one and you're not sure, drop a comment below. I love helping fellow treasure hunters out. Backhand index pointing right like this video if you learned something cool. Bell subscribe for more tips on coins worth serious money, smart collecting strategies, and true stories from the coin hunting trenches. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss a single cent. See what I did there? Smiling face with sunglasses. We're diving into the mysterious, magical, and million-dollar world of the 1975 D. Lincoln cent. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around. This could change your life, or at least your lunch money budget. So, what's so special about a penny from 1975 with a little D on it, anyway? First off, the D stands for Denver Mint, not dollar bills, although in this case, maybe it should. Now, the 1975 D penny was minted by the millions. Like, over 4.5 billion were made. So finding one isn't hard. But here's the twist, the one worth $1.8 million? It's not just any 1975 D. It's a rare error coin, and error coins are the rock stars of the coin collecting world. This specific penny has some kind of minting error or unique variation that makes it ultra rare. Like Indiana Jones treasure hunt, rare. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. And no, a bite mark from your little brother doesn't count as a mint error. Here's where it gets wild. The coin was sold for $1.8 million at auction. Why? Because serious collectors go absolutely bonkers for rare finds like this, especially ones that shouldn't technically exist. The high price comes down to rarity, condition, aka grade, and the error itself. Most pennies are worth, well, a penny. But find one that shouldn't exist, and suddenly you're sitting on a copper gold mine. So, real talk. I once had a massive jar of pennies I started as a kid. Every time I got change, I'd toss a penny in there. Fast forward 15 years, I needed gas money and dumped the whole thing in a Coinstar. About a week later, I read a story about a rare penny found at, wait for it, that same Coinstar location. That could have been my 1.8 million. But instead, I got $43.72 and a broken heart. All right, let's get to the money-making part. If you want to know if your 1975 D penny is the one, here's what to look for. Strong doubling on the date or lettering. Look for blurry or shadowy text, off-center strike, like Abe Lincoln's face is sliding off, weird coloration or metal. It should be mostly copper. No weird silvers unless it's a planchet error. Perfect condition, like coin graded as MS 67 or higher. If you find something funky, get it certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's your ticket to auction gold, baby. So the next time someone hands you change and you're tempted to just toss the pennies aside, don't. That boring little coin could literally buy you a mansion, a Tesla, and a lifetime supply of pizza. Or, one avocado toast in LA. Now it's your turn. Go on a coin hunt. Check your wallets, your old coat pockets, grandma's cookie jar. You never know where that $1 million penny might be hiding. If you liked this video and you want more tips on coins worth money, strategies for collecting like a pro, and wild stories from the world of numismatics, then hit that subscribe button, smack the like button, and ring that bell so you never miss a coin worth more than your car. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever found something weird in your pocket change. I read every one, and who knows, maybe we'll feature your story in the next video. 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny that made someone an actual millionaire. We'll talk about what it is, why it's so valuable, how you can spot one, and why you might want to start checking your change jar a little more carefully. So grab a drink, get comfy, and if you've got a pile of pennies lying around, you might want to bring those over too. All right, let's get nerdy, but like, fun nerdy. In 1980, the US Mint was cranking out Lincoln cents like nobody's business. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia had no mint mark, but here's the twist. 1980 was supposed to be the first year Philly pennies had a P mint mark added. Somehow, whether it was a sleepy mint worker, a forgotten die, or a glitch in the matrix, a few pennies slipped through without the mint mark. This made them ultra rare, like unicorn riding a dragon rare. And collectors lose their minds over that kind of thing. Great question, my coin-curious friend. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. There are maybe only a few known examples of the 1980 Lincoln cent without the P mint mark in perfect condition. We're talking MS-68 or higher. And when one surfaced at an auction, it sparked a bidding war that made the Hunger Games look like a pillow fight. Eventually, a high roller, probably with a coin cave instead of a man cave, dropped a jaw-dropping $1.8 million to own it. I mean, that's house money, Lamborghini money, buy your own island money, for a penny. Okay, quick story time. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her basement. She had this giant jar of change, the kind that could kill a man if it fell off a shelf. I start sorting through it, dreaming of hidden treasure. After 3 hours, I find this crusty 1980 penny. My heart starts pounding. Could this be the one? I grab a magnifying glass like I'm Sherlock Holmes, and there it is, no mint mark. Turns out, it was from Philly, but not the rare one. Still worth 1 cent. I rewarded myself with a gumball. But hey, I had fun. And now I'm obsessed with checking every penny I find, just in case lightning strikes. Here's what you need to do. Check the date. 1980 is the magic year. Flip it under a light. Look for a P mint mark on the front, under the date. No P? Don't scream yet, check the condition. Is it shiny? Smooth edges? No scratches. If it looks mini fresh, get it graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Don't DIY this part unless you're a coin wizard. Also, avoid toothpaste, sandpaper, or weird TikTok hacks to clean your penny. You'll ruin it. And then it's just a shiny failure. If you think you found the 1980 no mint mark unicorn, do not sell it on eBay for $5. Talk to a coin appraiser. Go to a reputable auction house. This is the kind of thing that changes lives. Like quitting your job to live on a boat kind of life change. So there you have it, the tale of a humble 1980 penny that went from pocket change to millionaire status. Moral of the story? Don't sleep on your spare change. That crusty coin in your junk drawer might just be your golden ticket. If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt through coin history, smash that like button like it's a winning lottery ticket, and hit subscribe for more money-making coin tips, stories, and collector strategies. 1984. D. Lincoln cent. Yep. That little copper coin you probably flicked into a tip jar or found under your couch cushion might just be worth more than your car, your house, and possibly your sanity. But before you go flipping your whole couch upside down, let me tell you the story behind it, how to spot this jackpot penny, and a little tale of how I almost tossed a valuable coin myself. Spoiler alert, I cried a little. Alright, so the 1984 D penny is just your basic Lincoln cent. Looks harmless. Coppery. Got Abe Lincoln doing his thing. And the D, under the year, just means it was minted in Denver. No big deal, right? This specific 1984 D penny that sold for $1.7 million isn't just any coin. It had a crazy rare mint error that collectors drool over. I mean, like, name their kid Abraham levels of obsession. What kind of error? It was a double die obverse, which means the design was stamped twice, slightly offset, making the lettering and Lincoln's features look doubled. You'll especially see it in the Liberty and the In God We Trust part. And the one that went for 1.7 mil? Perfect condition. Like, mini mint. That's called MS 68 red, which is grading nerdspeak for. This penny's a freaking unicorn. Now, story time. About 3 years ago, I'm sorting through a jar of coins. You know, the emergency pizza fund jar. I find this shiny 1983 penny. Looks weird. Lincoln's face is like, stretched. I think, maybe he was just stressed that year. I almost tossed it, but something told me to Google it. Turns out, it was a 1983 double die reverse, worth a few $100. Not millions, but enough for, like, 47 pizzas. And from that day on, I swore to check every penny like I was Indiana Jones opening a treasure chest. And let me tell you, it's kind of addicting. Alright, so if you're thinking, cool story, but how do I find this gold nugget disguised as a penny? Here's what to look for. Now don't expect every 1984 D to be worth millions. Most are worth a cent. But if yours has that doubling and it's in excellent condition, time to call a coin grader and maybe a financial planner. So yeah, that one specific 1984 D penny went for $1.7 million at auction. That was an extreme case due to its pristine condition and rarity. But even slightly less perfect versions of that error coin can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. I saw one go on eBay last week for over $3,500, and that wasn't even the top grade. So moral of the story? Don't underestimate your pocket change. That little penny jingling in your dryer could be worth more than your student loan debt. And hey, even if you don't find a $1 million coin, collecting can be fun, relaxing, and sometimes profitable. It's like treasure hunting without leaving your couch. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button like you're flattening a penny on a railroad track. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coins worth money, error coin strategies, and how not to cry when you realize you gave away a valuable penny in a vending machine. Have you ever found a valuable coin? Drop your story in the comments. I read all of them. And hey, you might just make it into the next video. 1986 could be worth, drumroll, please, $1.60 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $1.6 million. If you're sitting there wondering, what kind of magic is this? Well, stay tuned because you're about to learn the story of the legendary 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent. Alright, so let's rewind a little bit. Back in 1986, something totally crazy happened in the world of coins. It wasn't a super cool new design or a fancy limited edition. Nope. It was the fact that a small batch of 1986 pennies were minted without the usual mint mark. You know, the tiny letter that tells us where the coin was made. Either Philadelphia, no mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. Well, guess what? Some genius over at the mint somehow forgot to put the mint mark on a bunch of pennies. And that, my friends, is how a simple mistake turned into a gold mine. Now, to the untrained eye, it might just look like your average penny. But let me tell you, the universe was looking out for this penny. Imagine you go to a coin collector's shop, and you hand over your regular 1986 penny, and boom. That penny might be the jackpot you didn't even know you had. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln cent is super rare, like once-in-a-lifetime find rare. Here's the thing. The 1986 no mint mark penny wasn't supposed to exist. It was a mistake, a little oopsie from the US Mint. And now, because of its rarity, collectors are willing to pay huge amounts of money for it. We're talking about the kind of value that could pay for your car, your student loans, and possibly a whole vacation to Hawaii, depending on how much you're willing to sell it for. Heck, you could even buy a small island, if you're into that kind of thing. But let's break down the numbers here. A standard 1986 penny is worth, what? Maybe a cent? If you're lucky, you might get 2 or 3 cents for it at a coin shop. But that's not the case for the no mint mark version. In fact, in 2018, one of these elusive pennies was sold for a mind-blowing $1.60 million at an auction. And that wasn't just some rare find at a garage sale. That penny was graded a near-perfect MS 68, which is like the top tier of coin grades. Here's where things get interesting, though. While the $1.6 million sale makes the 1986 no mint mark penny sound like it's worth a fortune to everyone, don't expect every 1986 no mint mark penny to fetch that kind of price. It all comes down to condition, rarity, and the grading process. Coins that are in pristine condition, like the MS 68, will be worth way more than a penny with some wear and tear. And guess what? I had a funny experience once when I went through my dad's old coin collection. I thought I hit the jackpot with this 1955 penny I found, only to realize it was just a regular one, with a little bit of a smear on the side. Moral of the story? Check the details. You might have a fortune in your hand, or you might just have a regular old penny that you found in the couch cushions. But hey, that's how this whole coin thing works, right? You've got to check everything. So here's the takeaway. If you ever find a 1986 penny with no mint mark, don't just toss it aside. It could be worth way more than you think. Remember, it's all about condition and rarity, and sometimes a little mint error can turn into a gold mine. Before you go rummaging through your coin jars looking for the next big find, let me tell you, make sure you're subscribed. I've got tons of insider tips on coins worth money, hidden gems, and all things coin collecting. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next million-dollar mistake. And hey, if you find that 1986 no mint mark penny, maybe throw me a shout out, okay? 2011 penny be worth so much money? I know, when most people think of pennies, they think about throwing them into a jar and watching them pile up, right? Or maybe you've even tossed a penny into a fountain, wishing for a quick lotto win. But this penny, this specific one, it's a whole other story. Here's the deal. Most pennies from 2011 are just regular pennies, nothing special. But there's a rare error that happened that year. And if you've got one of these, you could be sitting on a gold mine, or should I say, a copper mine. So, what's the deal with this special penny? Well, in 2011, there were some pennies that got stamped incorrectly at the Denver Mint. These error pennies have a unique double die that makes them super rare and super valuable. And when I say rare, I mean only a few have been found, and that's why they're worth an insane amount. Think about it. Less than a handful of these error pennies in the whole world. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. Or, I dunno, a golden ticket in a candy bar. Either way, it's a jackpot. Now, let me tell you, when I first heard about this penny, I didn't believe it. I mean, come on, who's paying that much for a penny? But I did some digging, and sure enough, people were actually buying these rare coins for over $1 million. That's when I realized I might need to start checking my change a little more carefully. And trust me, I've been scouring my pockets ever since. Spoiler alert, no million-dollar pennies yet, but a lot of lint and a gum wrapper. Oh well. Now, you're probably thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these million-dollar pennies? Well, there are a couple of things to look out for. First, check the mint mark on your penny. The 2011 D mint mark penny is the one that had the error. If yours says D and looks a little off, specifically if you notice some doubling or a misalignment of the design, that's a clue. Now, don't go jumping for joy just yet. The condition of the penny matters too. A mint-condition penny can fetch you a lot more than a worn-down one. We're talking about pennies that look like they were just minted yesterday, not the one you pulled out of your grandma's cookie jar. But here's where it gets interesting. These error pennies aren't just rare. They're like the holy grail of coin collecting. Imagine owning a piece of history that only a select few will ever have. If you think about it, It's like having a baseball card that nobody else can get their hands on. Except it's a penny, and it's worth over $1 million. But hey, who's counting? And you might be wondering, how do I sell it if I find one? Well, my friend, that's the fun part. You can auction it off or find dealers who specialize in rare coins. There's actually a pretty strong market for rare pennies, and they're only becoming more sought after as time goes on. So, if you find one, hold on to it tight. You might just be holding on to a tiny piece of fortune. All right, before you go diving into your piggy bank, let's recap. If you come across a 2011 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny that has a double die error, congrats, my friend. You could be sitting on a gold mine. Well, a copper mine, but you get the idea. But just remember, not every penny is going to make you a millionaire. Most of them are just your regular run-of-the-mill pocket change. So, if you've got a coin collection that's gathering dust or you're checking your loose change like a pro, you might have just the thing to make you rich. And hey, if not, you'll at least have a pretty cool story to tell at your next party. If you want more tips, tricks, and insider info about what coins are worth big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got a lot more content coming your way about finding hidden treasures, and I'd love to have you on this coin collecting journey with me. 2013 No Mint Mark Lincoln Cent. And if you've got one of these hidden away, your coin collection could be worth more than your car. Crazy, right? Let's dive into how a simple penny turned into $1 million masterpiece. All right, let's get into the why behind this crazy penny's value. So, the 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. I know, it sounds like a riddle, but bear with me, is one of the rarest pennies out there. Normally, every penny has a mint mark, which tells you which U.S. mint made the coin. You'll see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in 2013, something strange happened. A batch of pennies was made without a mint mark. And these little guys? Well, they're super rare. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. Only a handful of these coins ever made it into circulation. So, instead of being a regular old penny, it became like the Where's Waldo of the coin world. The mint mark, or lack of it, is what makes these pennies special. And because not many were produced, we're talking a really tiny number. People who found them in their change are flipping out. But how did this coin go from being worth 1 cent to a cool million? Well, let's rewind a bit. See, back in 2013, most people probably just threw those pennies into their piggy banks or tossed them into a jar, never thinking twice about it. But fast forward to a few years later, and coin collectors, experts, and even the US Mint themselves started realizing just how rare this particular coin was. So, how much are we talking here? These babies have sold for anywhere between $10,000 to $1.8 million in some cases. That's right, I said million. All because of that missing mint mark. The market for rare coins is hot right now, and this one is like the treasure of the moment. I mean, seriously, if I had one of these laying around in my drawer, I would have probably used it for laundry or a vending machine by now. But no, some lucky folks have found them and, well, it's basically like winning the coin lottery. I remember when I first found a rare coin in my own collection, and I thought it was just a cool-looking penny. I was so excited, only to find out it wasn't worth much at all. But hey, a guy can dream, right? But enough about me. Let's get back to this 2013 Lincoln penny. The market for these things has gotten so hot that even small imperfections, like a faded mint mark, can drive up the price. So, if you have a 2013 penny with no mint mark in great condition, it's time to get it appraised. A couple $100? Maybe. A couple thousand? Possibly. Or, a cool million. Just saying. So, now you know that a simple penny could turn into a treasure if you're lucky enough to have one of these 2013 no mint mark Lincoln cents in your collection. If you do, don't just toss it in your "I'll deal with it later" jar. Take a moment, check it out, and get it checked by a professional. But hey, even if you don't have one of these $1 million pennies, don't worry. There are still plenty of rare coins out there worth more than your morning coffee. You just gotta know where to look. Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I'll be dropping more coin tips, tricks, and treasure hunts that'll have you checking your pockets like you're on a real-life scavenger hunt. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Who knows? Your next lucky find could be worth more than your last paycheck. So, subscribe, like, and share with your fellow coin nerds. And as always, happy hunting, and may your pockets be full of rare finds and your piggy bank full of, well, rare pennies. See you next time. 2016 penny. Well, Hold on to your hats because this penny isn't just any old piece of copper and zinc. First, let's get into the details. The 2016 D Mint Mark penny, issued by the US Mint in Denver, has this little design flaw. And when I say flaw, I mean a hidden gem that collectors would pay for. The 2016 D penny features a double die error. That means that the coin has a slight misprint, which makes it extra special. Now, before you rush off to look through every single penny you've ever collected, let me tell you, this isn't like finding a penny with a weird date or a lucky penny that some grandma gave you on your birthday. Oh, no. This is unique. This error happens because, when the penny was struck, the dies used to make the coins weren't perfectly aligned. The result? A beautiful, slightly doubled image of Abraham Lincoln's face, which makes it a highly desirable find among collectors. You might be thinking, okay, I've seen that before. What's the big deal? Well, this error penny has been selling for insane prices. Some have even fetched up to $1.7 million at auction. That's right. A penny that's worth more than a fancy sports car, and definitely more than most of our rent payments. And I don't know about you, but I could use a few extra $1,000,000. Let me share a little personal story. The other day, I was digging through my old change jar, looking for coins to roll up and cash in. I thought I'd find a few quarters or maybe a nice shiny dime. But to my surprise, I found an old, dusty penny. You know the type. The one that's been around for ages, kinda grimy, and just screams, I've been through some stuff. Now, it wasn't a 2016 D penny, but I decided to keep it anyway. It reminded me of that time I found a 2009 penny with a weird mark on it, and for a split second, I thought I had a rare collectible. Turns out it wasn't worth much, but the thrill of finding something special was totally worth it. And it got me thinking, could you imagine pulling a 2016 D Mint penny out of your pocket, knowing it could be worth a small fortune? It's like winning the coin lottery. Now, you might be wondering, how do you tell if your 2016 D penny is worth that much? Well, first, check the date and mint mark. It should say 2016 D. That D means it was minted in Denver. Then, look for that doubling effect, especially around the letters and Lincoln's face. But listen, don't freak out if you don't have a magnifying glass or a fancy coin app. You can always bring it to a professional coin appraiser for a closer look. And trust me, if you find one of these, it's worth a small investment in getting it properly graded. A high-quality, graded 2016 D penny could potentially go for a crazy amount at auction. Like, realistically, we're talking a lottery ticket, but better. All right, friends, the moral of the story is simple. You never know what treasure might be hidden in that pile of loose change. So before you toss that jar of pennies in the drawer or drop them in the vending machine, take a minute and check for any 2016 D Mint Mark Lincoln pennies. They might just make you a millionaire. I mean, how cool would it be to turn a single penny into $1.7 million? Talk about a serious upgrade to your Netflix subscription, right? If you want more tips on finding rare coins and turning your pocket change into cold, hard cash, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of insider info on what coins to look for, plus tips on how to maximize your collections. And hey, if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth a lot more than you thought, drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories. See you next time. Happy hunting, coin collectors. 2017, the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for, produced millions of standard Lincoln pennies. We're talking about the usual copper-plated zinc suspects, but. And here's the juicy bit. There's one 2017 D Lincoln penny that hit the numismatic jackpot because of a minting error that turned it into a unicorn in the coin world. What kind of error, you ask? Well, experts say it's a combination of die doubling, a unique planchet anomaly, and an ultra-rare die clash. Sounds technical? Yeah, basically, the machine's goofed in the most glorious way possible. Now, before you go turning your couch cushions inside out, let's talk about why this lil copper beauty is worth more than most people's cars, that it's not just the error, it's the rarity. Out of the bazillion 2017 D pennies out there, only one has this particular combination of flaws. Collectors go nuts for this stuff. It's like Pokemon cards, but shinier, and with Abraham Lincoln staring at you like he knows you forgot your taxes. In 2023, a private auction stunned the coin world when one of these error pennies sold for, say it with me, $1.7 million. Exploding head, that's like paying off your mortgage with one trip to the gas station. Now, here's where it gets personal. A few weeks ago, I was at my grandma's house. She's 87, bakes banana bread like a boss, and has a coin jar bigger than her microwave that I'm digging through it, just for fun, and boom, I see a shiny 2017 D-penny. My heart does a little cha-cha. I'm like, this is it. This is my $1,000,000 moment. I grab my phone, squint at the coin under the flashlight like I'm decoding the Da Vinci Code, and start Googling like my life depends on it. Spoiler alert. It was just a regular penny. Expressionless face, but it reminded me that you never know what treasure you've got sitting in a jar, junk drawer, or between the couch cushions next to some old Skittles and lint. And that, my friend, is why we keep looking. So what do you need to look for? Look for any weird doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face. Check for strange lines or marks, like ghost imprints, which could be die clashes. And for the love of coins, use a magnifying glass. Your eyeballs aren't built for this level of detail, trust me. All right, coin fam, what did we learn today? That sometimes the smallest things, even a lonely penny, can be worth a fortune if you're paying attention. So the next time someone tells you, it's just a penny, look them dead in the eye and say, it might be my retirement plan. Smiling face with sunglasses if you enjoyed this video, or if you're already running to your change drawer, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications bell so you don't miss out on more hidden treasures and coin hunting strategies that could make you the next penny millionaire. Got a coin story of your own? Drop it in the comments. I love reading your finds.